morning and welcome to Coffee Chat, the place where you gain tips and advice on caring for your dog. Happy July 15th. I'm Laura Pakis and your host for Coffee Chat. Today is a very important day for dog owners. It's National Pet Fire Safety Day, and this is very, very important. Did you know that your pet can actually cause a devastating fire? Unbelievable. They say an estimated 500,000 pets are affected annually by home fires, and nearly 1,000 of those house fires each year are accidentally caused by the pet themselves. Unbelievable. And this is through the National Fire Protection Association, in case you wanted to look it up. So planning for unexpected emergencies like home fires and taking precautions are really a very important part of being a responsible dog owner. So here are some tips to help prevent your pet from starting fires. One is to extinguish all open flames when you're not around. Makes perfect sense. You don't want a candle still burning when you're not there. Your dog may accidentally knock it with its tail. A cat might hit it with its paw. Other areas too, your cooking appliance, you don't want them on when you're not home. Also, a fire in the fireplace or even outside. You know, animals are very curious about things, and they may accidentally go and think they need to get a piece of wood out of the fire and then cause a problem. So make sure everything is out when you're not home. Another one that's a little interesting is to remove your stove knobs. Now, the reason they're saying this is because according to the National Fire Protection Association, a stove or cooktop is the #1 piece of equipment involved in your pet starting a fire. Amazing, I didn't know that. So take the little extra time and either cover them up or remove them and you won't have a problem. Invest in flameless candles. Now, we love these candles. They have a light bulb and they kind of flicker sometimes, and the best part about it, you can use the remote to turn them on and off. And they won't cause a problem if your dog or cat knocks them over because they're not aflame. So, one of the interesting things for summertime is beware of using glass water bowls on wooden decks in particular. The reason for this is it acts like a magnifying glass. The sun comes in, shines on the water through the glass and heats it up, and there goes. You have a wood deck fire. Who would have thought? I thought we'd also talk about some ways to keep your pet safe. And some are, it makes sense right away, and others, there's something to really think about and take consideration in. Keeping your pets near an entrance when you're away from the home. You want to make sure that whoever's going to come, firefighter or maybe someone that, it's an emergency and they need to get the dog, they can be easily found. They even suggest having a leash and collar very close to the door so that, they're easier to catch the animal and bring them to safety. Securing your pet using a crate while you're gone, or a baby gate kind of confines them to a certain room, and that's very important. That's Miss Penny talking right now. But and they also keeps them away from fire hazards. So say you're cooking on the stove and you don't want your dog in there, lock up the room and fix it up. Another one is, we all have smoke detectors, hopefully, but another level to that is if you're not home, you may want to consider investing in one of those monitored smoke detectors that hooks up to a company that if the smoke detector goes off, it immediately calls the fire department and you're there in much quicker time than should you come home and find out or someone see the smoke billowing from your home. So that might be a good investment, just adds another layer of protection. Another one is affixing a pet alert window cling. They used to have stickers, and it makes sense to have the window clean because your animal population kind of changes as you go, and you want to have it up to date so whoever's coming to the home knows to look for 1 cat and 2 dogs, and they're not searching for that 1 cat that isn't there anymore. So make sure you keep that up to date too. So there's other tips that on fire safety that you can find on my website, acmecanine.com. We go into a little more detail and have more suggestions there, so check it out if you can. Last year, I had the opportunity to interview firefighter Geoff Pakis out in Arizona. This was on my show, KSCO Pet Radio. He had some wonderful tips from the firefighter's view that I thought you'd be interested in hearing.
I've been a firefighter in the state of Arizona for approximately 8 years now. So I've been fighting fire and helping people try to save their pets for about that time, coming up on 10 years. House fires are roughly 10% of our calls that we respond to. I've been on a handful of calls, fire calls that involve animal rescues, and there's two different cases. There's one where the owner is home, the owner knows that their house is on fire, and they call 911 themselves. And the other case is either an abandoned home or the pet is left home alone, and the property owner is unaware that their house is on fire. So those are the two basic situations that we run into with animals. We have something called a strategic decision-making process, where it's basically a thought process algorithm where it helps us figure our way through a situation, right? And it works on EMS calls, it works on fire calls. But in the event of the two examples that I told you earlier, there's either going to be a person there at the house saying, and most of the time they say, my baby's inside. And, we tend to treat that as a human in that case. So I ask your listeners that if you're ever in a horrible situation like this, let us know that there's dogs. Hey, we have 2 dogs inside. One is a medium-sized white dog, medium-sized black dog. Leave it at that, right? Because we have a lot of work to do. We're in a hurry. We're trying to make an impact and save your house and save your animals. So we can't stay there for too long. In the other event, I think there's a few, I'm not sure who makes them, to be honest, but there's a little window sticker or a little window decal. That we do see. We do acknowledge that if we go in the front door and I believe that same info should be on there, medium-sized brown dog, medium-sized black dog, et cetera. So we kind of have an idea of what's going on inside the house. We work in it's almost like a kind of a coordinated attack where we're trying to put out the fire at one time and achieve a primary all clear, which means everything is safe inside the house or clear of humans or pets. So during that time, we're fighting the fire, we're looking for animals, and most of the time we'll find the animals near their food or water source. A lot of times they'll be in the hallway near a doorway. But then, to be honest, most of the times we'll see them in I guess, what they would feel as their safest place in the house. For example, I have a dog, and when she gets a hold of something that she's not supposed to chew on, she runs under my daughter's bed because it's the safest place for her to be. She feels like she's safe there and she's not going to be hurt by anybody or caught by anybody. So we'll find them behind dressers, behind doors, and then from that, we simply remove the animal out and try to do our best to revive the animal and then deliver it back to the responsible party or the property owner. It kind of depends on the layout of your house, the arrangement of the furniture, the arrangement of your collection of antiquities, if you will. A lot of people like to collect a lot of things and keep them in their house. So imagine somebody who's never seen your house before, literally having to cover every square inch of the house in a search. It makes our job a little bit harder if you have a ton of things in your house, right? So if you can, something to help us out is to make sure that your house is relatively clean. I'm not saying a mopped floor, but I'm just saying large items or piles of trash are picked up, because we're going to spend extra time looking through that pile of trash to find your animal instead of hitting the bedrooms, bathrooms, hallways as fast as we can. So, we respond within under 5 minutes from when somebody calls 911, we will be at your house ready to fight a fire in under 5 minutes. So if that's the case and the fire hasn't become fully developed and fully involving the house, there's a great chance that we'll find your animal. If it's an abandoned house and it's late at night and nobody calls it in for a while, that means that that's more time for that fire to grow. So that pushes everything back 15, 20 minutes. So sometimes we get there and what we call is a defensive fire, where we don't enter the structure, we don't go inside because everything is already lost. The building is burnt down. Nobody's able to survive inside. Animals as well as human beings, you have a drive and a desire to survive and not get hurt. So there'll be times where we open up a door and a whole bunch of animals will just run right out because they know that they're in a bad environment that is not able to sustain their life. So they'll, what we call like self-evacuation, they'll just run out completely. But with some problems that I've seen with that is they take off. Yeah, I wish we could help, but unfortunately that's not part of our job description is chasing down an animal. We'll try our best to get a hold of them and maybe help them find a leash or a collar somewhere. But if that animal takes off, we do have other priorities on that scene to take care of at the time. Terrified, they know that they're in a bad situation. They leave the house, they run away, and you're right, they do come back maybe later that day, or sometimes we see the property owners drive around asking neighbors, you do with any lost animal. So it's important to keep a collar on because that way we can control the animals when we do remove them from the house. And it almost starts, obviously, before there's a problem. You want to make sure that you have smoke detectors in your house that are in working order with fresh batteries. And if you can, I know they are a little bit expensive when you start outfitting an entire house, but you want to have one in every room because if a fire breaks out in a certain room and the door is closed, for example, your kitchen smoke detector is not going to pick up your bedroom smoke detector unless they're linked. So it's important to have all of the tools you need to give you that early notification to get out of the house if there is a fire. And yeah, you're going to know where your animals like to go. You're going to know where you last saw them. And if you get that early notification, you'll have a few minutes before you don't feel uncomfortable inside that house where you want to leave yourself. So if you call 911 and you say, my house is on fire, please send the fire department. Maybe include everybody's out except we have 2 cats that we can't find. That message will come to us on the way to the call via computer or a cell phone, depending on how the departments are run. But we will get an update on the way there, and that'll be in our mind for sure. In addition, we're primarily there to extinguish the fire. And if we extinguish the fire, we take the threat away from the animals. So that's kind of where our mindset's at. If that's in the back of our mind, hey, there's still 2 animals we need to look for, we will discover those animals during a primary or secondary all clear. What we like to do is just put out the fire as fast and safely as we can every single time, because that keeps us safe, that keeps the occupants inside, and also the animals safe if we do find them later on. If there's a place to survive in a structure, we have to have eyes on it. You can't take the word of the people who are neighbors or maybe just moved out of the house. Until we get eyes on every square inch, we don't know it's clear. You have to see for yourself. So that's what we do. Okay, thank you for the opportunity, everybody. You guys have a great day.
Didn't Geoff have some great suggestions? Hopefully they'll be helpful to you. Oh, I did want to mention another great site is WikiHow, and it has some ideas and suggestions as well as diagrams to help you train your dog to respond to a smoke detector, or what to do when the smoke detector goes off, kind of a fire drill type thing. So check them out. They have some good tips there and something I didn't think about, but I thought it was good to add to our show. Oh, and if you're looking for free pet fire safety window clings, there's a couple sources that we found. And one is to email your address to an ADP person that I spoke with, and he's kind of doing us a favor, so make sure you mention Acme Canine. It's btucker@adt.com. Or you can visit the ASPCA website and fill out a form there, and they'll send you a packet with clings and a variety of things to help for pet fire safety. On a lighter note, I wanted to talk about the next holiday that's coming up. It's right up my alley since I love to do crafts. Monday, July 26th is National Craft for Your Local Shelters Day. It started with a blogger, Erica Lindquist, who is the owner of So Doggy Style. That's her blog. And she founded this National Craft for Your Local Shelters Day. She wanted a day to recognize that we can give back to local shelters in kind of a crafty way. And this includes making beds for the dogs, toys, vests, bandanas that say Adopt Me, leashes, and so much more. So if you're interested in participating in something like this, she offers the following suggestions. To decide on a shelter to donate to, make sure you contact them and make sure that they want to receive the donation that you were thinking of giving them. If you're not sure what to make, ask the shelter of your choice and what they might need the most, besides money and food. And then once you've made your mind up and have the shelter and know what you're doing, decide what materials you're going to need. Think about how long it's going to take to make one item, so you just don't get like, your game plan becomes unrealistic over time. And do you need a pattern? Do you need help with it? So you might want to even come up with a day to do it, and have a craft party where even people that aren't that skilled can help out and join in. And maybe they cut something out, or they help draw something, and then someone else sews, and we gather it all up together. Make sure you document it, because it's so much fun, and post it on social media so that others know about this craft day for local shelters, so that the word gets out. So once you've got this all done, then it's time to take it to the shelter. It's kind of the fun part. You want to make sure to make it a good day, so be sure to call before you drop off the items. You don't want them to be so busy that they don't have time to acknowledge your donation. And while you're there, ask them if you could get a picture with a dog wearing one of the bandanas you've made, or the toy, have them playing with the toy. And then be sure again to post it on National Craft for your local shelter day, so that the word gets out and other people come up with this. It's kind of a fun thing if you're a crafter. You love creating stuff, and now you're creating to help others and benefit the dogs that are in someone else's care. Oh, if you're a shelter, Erica has on her site a place for you to sign up and list what things you may want. If you want toys, or if you need beds or mats or whatever. And then that way, even someone from another part of the country or part of our nation, if they want to help, they can mail it to you, and you'll reap the benefits of this also, this special day. Oh, and be sure to take a pledge. This way you're committed to do it, and Erica has an idea of what people are up to, and she likes to put that on her blog as well. So be sure to celebrate July 26th, National Make a Craft for Your Local Shelter Day. Pretty cool. If you need ideas or suggestions on making a craft, I did want to mention that there's quite a bit on YouTube, and also on Acme Canine we have an article about making recycle crafts. We were doing them for Earth Day, but it would be perfect for this time to help a shelter out too. So, but YouTube had some good ones. In fact, I saw how to make a snuffle mat. It looked easy, and I thought, well, maybe I'll even make a few extra for holiday gifts. We're almost out of time. It goes by so fast, but I wanted to share again that I am a certified Volhard affiliate, which means that I have quite a bit of nutritional knowledge for helping your pet and to have the right foods for them. So if you have any questions, be sure to email me at dogs@acmecanine.com, and I'll make sure I get back to you as quickly as possible, and we'll discuss it on our next coffee chat. Until then, I wish you the best, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Enjoy the day.